Jumping! Everybody likes jumping, and I like to jump into spells and optimize them like crazy. Let's just jump into it. Welcome to Pack Tactics, where I think you should buy emergency jump scrolls for mobility. First, we need to read and understand how to use it. It says, first level spell available to Druid, Ranger, Sorcerer, Wizard, and Artificer. Bonus action use, 1 minute duration. You touch a willing creature once on each of its turns until the spell ends. That creature can jump up to 30 feet by spending 10 feet of movement. Upcast, you can target one additional creature for each spell slot level above 1. Bonus action to cast, last 10 rounds. That's a big deal. Oh, you end up in melee? Well, the solution is simple. Disengage as an action, then bonus action cast jump, spend 10 feet, and long jump 30 feet. After jump, move another 10 feet. So in total, you move 50 feet. Or what you can do is walk 20 feet, then jump 30 feet. This spell won't let you bunny hop, by the way. It's once on each of your turns. Here's what the long jump looks like. Guys, you have to say Yahoo! That's the only way to make this spell work. Yeah, this spell is verbal, so you have to say Yahoo. Anyways, here's the long jump rules. The spell says you jump up to 30 feet, so you don't need to care too much about the long jump rule. All you need to know is that you jump horizontally, you have to move 10 feet to make the long jump itself to get the full benefit of the long jump. If you land on difficult terrain, you have to make a DC 10 acrobatics check or fall prone. And this long jump rule assumes that the height of the jump doesn't matter. As for jumping normally, like straight up 30 feet, do not do that, because it can literally kill you, especially if you're level 1. Falling says a creature that falls takes 1d6 bludgeoning damage at the end of the fall for every 10 feet it fell. Also, you end up prone. So 30 feet, that's 3d6 damage. In average damage, that's 10.5. So if you're a level 1 wizard and spend 10 feet to jump 30 feet directly up, it will knock you unconscious and maybe kill you. If you actually do that, then you made a really good Morrowind reference. What a funny way to die! Yeah, I feel like that's a very Dungeons and Dragons way to go. Makes for a funny story. I totally see a scenario where this will happen utility-wise. Maybe the player wants to reach the ledge of the building and pull themselves up. The ledge itself is 30 feet up. They reach it but fail to pull themselves up or whatever and falls. In general, I don't recommend doing stuff like that. Use normal tools like a grappling hook. That's way more effective and cheaper. Whatever you do, never ever use high jump. They never fix this problem. High jump can actually get you killed. Anyways, that's the basics of jump spell, and it's not a concentration spell or anything. For a lot of you full casters and maybe even half casters out there, it's maybe not worth preparing and casting, but there's another effective way to take advantage of this without preparing it. All you need is a little bit of optimization. But before we get into that, this video is sponsored by Souls of Dreveland. This is a subclass supplement for 5e and compatible with 2024. It's got a subclass for each class, 13 in total. And it's got 33 new spells to play with. Let's take a look at some of them for fun. Dynamic Fighter is a reaction-based defensive fighter that can convert bonus actions into additional reaction. That could be rolling out a danger as a reaction, counter ranged attacks including ranged spell attacks, reaction disarm foes, and at Capstone you get explosive dice that does AoE damage. Spell Fade is the anti-caster subclass for rogues. If they hit a caster, they get silenced, they get a ton of counterspell resources, and at Capstone, straight up anti-magic field, which is perfect for those levels. Here's my favorite one. Eidolon Wizard gets a powerful familiar that you can straight up customize with points, and it could be anything. You can pick creature type, size from tiny to huge, movement speed, defenses, attacks. You can even give it feats and spells. You can have a Flame Gator that shoots fireballs. What an awesome concept build. Or you you can be a dragon rider and fly around with it while the dragon shoots fireballs. There's a lot of fun stuff here. This is a passion project a DM made for his players, and now he wants to share it with us. I highly recommend checking out Souls of Drevland, link in the description. Back to the video. How do you optimize jump for most spellcasting classes in the game? Well, the answer's really simple. Use scrolls! This video is Gator's idea and it's brilliant. For those that don't know, first level scrolls are in adventuring gear for 50 gold a pop. So that means you can find this in general stores and stuff. Even in small villages you can find them. Yeah, it says right here in services under spellcasting, most settlements contain individuals who are willing to cast spells in exchange for payments. And as you can see here, 50 gold for first level spells are available in villages, towns, or cities. Now, stuff like this is DM dependent, but scrolls being in the adventuring gear list will make it more likely it's available as an option. Jump scrolls are 50 gold, bonus action activation that lasts 10 rounds. Now keep in mind, only casters and half-casters who have this on their class's spell list can activate this scroll, but getting a caster level in general is very easy. If you buy 3 scrolls, that's 150 gold total. That should be plenty enough for emergency cases. Like for example, let's say you have a riding horse or a phantom steed. For those that don't know, these mounts can dash and disengage for you for free without taking any of your actions. People who use mounts usually fight like Mongolians. Range combat, stay away from the enemies, take shots, dash into cover for extra safety. That's the playstyle. The downsides to these mounts are that they have bad AC and HP. A fireball, for example, will instantly kill them. And if the mount dies, then you don't have the free dash or disengage option anymore. That's where the jump scroll comes in handy. It's your plan B. Bonus action activates, jump away to safety, and keep staying far away. Now, of course, this does not have the same benefits as a mount. It's not a free disengage, but 50-foot movement is almost as fast as a riding horse can move normally. Speed is a good defense. You gotta keep in mind that more than half the game can only do melee attacks. If they can't get to you, then they do 0 damage to you. Most of them don't have 50-foot speed. You're forcing them to dash. If you can easily jump from full cover to full cover, enemies with ranged attacks and maybe even spells have a hard time dealing with you. By the way, if you activate a jump scroll on that turn, you can still action cast a leveled spell. Scrolls don't conflict with the new spellcasting rule. If you feel like memeing, you can cast this on your mounts. Yeah, you touch a willing creature as a bonus action. I have no idea why you would do this because mounts already have insane amount of speed. That's more than enough for the job, especially if you have a phantom steed. What are you doing? As for warlocks, they can get an invocation called Otherworldly Leap at level 2, which is jump at will, but it only works on them. Very handy for early game, but I recommend ditching it once you have enough scrolls. You don't need that many, I suggest like 3. If you picked Archfey, then you obviously don't need the invocation anymore. You probably don't even need the scrolls. Anyways, movement is a defense, and if you're really good at taking advantage of that defense, then you're fighting very safely. Fights are very dangerous. You should always fight with 2 safety barriers or more. This spell is another safety barrier, but it's mostly a plan B scenario. As for you melee guys, this can be beneficial for you too. This can increase your damage because you get into melee quicker if there's a lot of distance. If you're dashing, you do 0 damage that round. If the bonus action jump scroll gets you to the enemy without the need of dash, then you obviously get to make a swing. Maybe you can pounce the most dangerous target immediately, like the big bad spellcaster, instead of some random grunt mob in front of you. Your main job is to get to the most dangerous target immediately and eliminate them. That makes it so that everyone takes less damage as the rounds play out. Never forget that. And then there's stuff like maybe you can jump over enemy AoEs, like spike growth. There's tons of uses for melee too. If you're a caster and there's a melee guy who's hyper optimized, cast a jump scroll on him. Get him into melee early. That's really beneficial for the party and it's super cheap. And then right afterwards, on the same round, you cast a leveled spell. That's all I wanted to say today. Get them in scrolls for combat safety, or even aggression if you're a melee character. If your whole party takes advantage of these scrolls, maybe your DM can start using interesting terrain. Maybe they can have battle maps that's kind of like Baldur's Gate 3. There's tons of interesting terrain there. That game is a great inspiration. Very good spell, I highly recommend it. Not so much in preparing and casting with slots, but buying them in scrolls absolutely. End of video. I hope I earned a like, comment, and maybe a subscription. Don't forget to check out Souls of Drevland. Thank you for watching. Bye bye!